Alright folks, Pliskin here. We're out shooting 200 yards at a paper target. Gonna take my M1A out to 200 yards with this match load and see what it looks like out there. Okay. All right. I have to set my hat like this because it bumped the scope. That sun's right in our eyes too. We're just kind of having to wing it today. I'll go a 3-shot group and call it even. Okay. All right. Three shots. Oh, careful there. We'll go see what those look like, and then I'll shoot the Mauser. Looky there. I was holding right here, and I put two right on top of each other. And then I pulled that one, because that last shot, the table was kind of wobbling back and forth. But two right on top of each other. I think I was catching a little wind in there, because this here on this old cornfield it's pretty breezy, pretty windy, but damn, I'll take that any day of the damn week with the M14. I just pulled that last one there. That's pretty good. Now I'm doing the 7.65 1909 Argentine Mauser with its reloads. I'll talk about the reloads when I get home. All right. Take my scope caps off here. I gotta catch my breath. We've been walking down to 200, and that's a mighty big walk. Oh yeah. Okay. Let me move this back a little bit. Okay. That one jerked pretty bad. Okay. One more. Okay.
Can you see what you're doing?
Do what?
Can you see what you're doing?
No. Nope, not through this 10 power. I'm just hoping I hit the board, because between me not being able to catch my breath and this table shake, them could have been hitting anywhere down there. But I'd wait, I'd put the crosshairs on the orange sticker, I'd get there and I'd just squeeze that trigger as good as I could. Well, it's a real hot and hazy day too, and that ain't helping, and this rifle's only got a 10 power scope, so we'll have to go see what we did. Alright, we're shooting 300 now. The camera's kind of angled low, not much I can do about that. Okay. Going individual shot here so that way I don't lose all my brass. And I gotta be careful because there's a wind flag in the line of fire. We're kind of on a slope here as opposed to where we were for 200. Okay, it's loaded, off safe. Okay. Okay, that was one shot. Okay. All right. Oh, I just hit to the left of that gong down there. I was trying to hit that little red gong through the brush. Oh, that was 4 for me. This time the brass was actually negotiated better. It stayed up here on the table instead of flinging way out there, which is a blessing. I can find it easier now. All right. We'll see how that 3-shot group did at 300. There's still a little south to north breeze coming in, but it's kind of died down. And I'm kind of thinking that may have been what pushed my bullet earlier when I was shooting at 200, because we kind of stabilized this table a bit better. All right, we'll see how that all went, how that all looks. All right, folks, this is the target here on September 25th, 2020. It's the shooting was filmed yesterday on September 24th, 2020. Alright, so we were shooting out to 200 yards and 300 yards. The targets on the right side of the board were mine with the 1909 Argentine Mauser and the M1A 308. And on the left was my dad's Remington 700s 40X and 25-06 and CDL and 30-06. So to start off here at 200 yards, I was holding here with both the M1A and the Mauser. With the M1A, I got a 2-inch drop, so my groups hit down here, and this was a .50 MOA at 200 with reloads, and I hit right there. But we had a steady south to north breeze all day yesterday. As you can see over here with my dad's 30-06 and 25-06, he was holding here, but as you can see, his bullets would drift over here to the right. And same down here at 100. He'd be holding here, not 100, 300. He'd be holding here, and see how far his bullets would drift? That was the wind playing with it. So that's what caused this bullet here to fly. I thought it was because I pulled the gun, and I very well could have, but the wind would gust up ever so slightly every once in a while, and it would push. Because as you can see, all three of my Mauser bullets hit way over here on the right from where I was holding. So got .50 MOA with the M1A's reload at 200. That's really damn good. I'm counting them too. With the Mauser, the 7.65 by 53 1909 Argentine Mauser, it's holding here, and I got a 4-inch drop with the Mauser, and I got a 1.80 MOA right there, so that's really good with it too. The reloads in respective to each of them, with the M1A I was running, let me get some light here, I was running 150 grain Spitzer Boat Tail Sierra bullet on 43.5 grains of Varget with Federal 210 gold medal match primers and all Federal brass. This is all Federal brass in this box here. No Remington, all Federal. And with the 7.65 by 53, I was running Norma brass, Federal 210 primers, 42 grains of IMR 4064, and the bullet was a 150 grain soft point Hornady .311 diameter bullet for the Mauser. And in the chronograph testing that we did, we found that the Mauser reloads are actually moving a lot slower than the M1A's, velocity wise. And the reason for the 4-inch drop with the Mauser is the scope mount on my M1A basically gives my M1A almost like a 20 MOA type elevation, because at 200 yards out at the cabin, I can shoot out to 200 yards and just put the crosshairs right on the gong and hit it dead center every time. So at 200 yards is nothing for the M1A. Alright, 300 yards. Now 300 yards is a little bit different. Was further out. The wind was it wasn't as bad, but it was having, it would whip up every now and then. And I had a wind flag, one of my dad's wind flags. We didn't move it, we left it out there. But when we oriented the target and then we got down to the gate at 300 and we moved the truck and all that over, we realized that the wind flag was right in the way of the target. So I had to be very careful on where I held. And like I said, the wind was still blowing, and I think it kind of contributed to the third bullet going off target. But down here, I got a 13-inch drop with, at 300 yards, 13 inches of drop. You got to remember, my M1A is sighted in at 100. So 300 yards, I got a 13-inch drop. It's holding there where that black dot is on this red vertical rectangle here. So I wouldn't hit the wind flag. And I got a .60 MOA with the reloads at 300. And I think the third bullet, it blew it off the target. And then I fired a fourth shot trying to hit the little red gong that we had set up. And that didn't do too good either. But I could see that bullet, when I fired that bullet, I could see it go through the grass. Like the leaves and the weeds and all that parted as the bullet went through, and then it kicked up dust. So I got really close. I hit just to the left of the little red gong. So In conclusion, for our little test with the new shooting table, that was the first time that new shooting table had been used, and it wasn't very stable. It would, you'd get behind your crosshairs and it would walk like this. I mean, my crosshairs the whole time was just kind of doing this with all the guns sitting there, so you just had to really buck up behind it and get a real good solid aim as best as you could and just squeeze that trigger. It was real it was real challenging, and I'm glad with both my rifles I was able to get these groups that I did, because that was challenging. That was a very challenging setup we had. It was our first time using that table because we're experimenting right now. We're going through a little experimenting phase, trying to make a portable shooting stand to set our rifle rest, our bench rest rifle rest off of, like we do at the park, and so that way we can shoot out in the field as well as we do at the park, trying to get something worked up to make more stable shots at longer distance. So that was a trial run, and it was pretty successful. Both me and my dad grouped really good with our guns. We both had really good accuracy with both the rifles. We had 4 rifles out there yesterday, 5. We brought the AR-15, but we didn't shoot it. We brought my dad's AR-15. So I hope you guys all enjoyed this video. I know I enjoyed it last night. It was real fun. We don't get to shoot out to 300 very often around here, and we're going to just keep stretching out. We're going to try and go out to 500, maybe 600 yards before long on the AR-500 steel gongs out that far, and see what we can do. So stay tuned, guys. There's more coming. See you all in the next video.